is the 4-5 matchup in Denver, McNichols Sports Arena. Arkansas and Iowa for the right to take on UConn in the Sweet 16. Hi, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarco. Nolan Richardson told us he doesn't worry about what the opponent does. He just worries about his own team, and he is going to try to set the tempo here today, Jim.
He's going to come out quickly, first from the defensive end, then up-tempo and try to get this going down the offensive end with their transition. Iowa, on the other hand, has to slow it down a little bit and use their size and get into a half-court game. Take a look at the starting lineups right now. For the Iowa Hawkeyes, Settles, Koch, Bauer, Oliver, and McCausland. Arkansas has Hood, Jeffries, Walker, Reed, and Bradley. Dr. Tom Davis, every time he steps on the sideline, could be his last game for Iowa. He is stepping down at the end of Iowa's run in this tournament. Coach Richardson, he loved the effort in Arkansas's first-round win over Siena. They controlled the tempo. They controlled the pacing of the game. Scott Thornley, Mark Whitehead, and Zelton Steed are the officials here today in Denver. Series note, it's all tied up at 2-2. Only one NCAA tournament meeting won by Arkansas back in 1985. Chris Walker, tremendous effort in that win over Siena, and the experience of Jess Settles will come into play if Iowa is to come out of here with a win. Hawkeyes control the tap. Dean Oliver getting the start. He was unable to start in the first round because of the flu, but he was effective coming off the bench. Notice right away the man-to-man aggressively out on the perimeter. They're going to force Iowa to put the ball on the floor, and then Iowa's job is to make good decisions once they dribble. Settles tried to get it inside, and an ill-advised feed intercepted by Hood. Arkansas, first possession. Bradley, a three-pointer way off. Did not have the legs underneath him and drifting away from the basket. Oliver on a dish-off. Extra feed, settles in some traffic. McCausland thought about it for three. This is Oliver. Got it. Nice job, though, by McCausland. Just a little ball fake, brought two defenders to him. Lob. Back the other way. Jeffries couldn't finish it, but Bradley with the offensive rebound. 1 minute gone by here in the first half in Iowa with a 3-0 lead. Jeffries has started out pretty well in the last two games that he's played in also. Long three for Reed. Back iron. And a foul called as McCausland was shoved from behind. Chris Jeffries called on the personal foul. Both teams shot the ball well from three-point range in their first-round game. Iowa was 12 of 23. Arkansas, 15 of 30. Oliver breaking down the defense and drawing the foul. It appeared to be Jeffries once again. Dean Oliver was struggling the other night. The side effects of the flu, but what you do and what you have on the floor is a guy who knows how to put it on the floor. As a lefty, he throws a little different look at you, and right down the middle, quickly going towards the basket, and you're right, Ian, it was Jeffries there, so 2 fouls on him, a difficult start to this basketball game for him. And Dean Oliver at the free throw line. Give credit to Oliver, who actually spent some time in the hospital earlier this week, hooked up to an IV, came out with 15 points and 6 assists off the bench in the win over UAB 77-64, and he has scored all 5 of Iowa's points. Walker a 3, book it. Barely moved the net on that, but nice job by the Arkansas team going right past that long full court trap that Iowa set up that trip. 2-point lead for Iowa. Look at how far out on the floor they come to defend. Question becomes, how long can they do it for? They're a well-conditioned squad. Bauer finds an opening. Tried to get the feet over to Koch, and Bauer is called on an offensive foul. Jeffries was the guy standing in his way, taking a chance defensively there with 2 fouls, but he gets away with it, picks up a charge. For complete tournament coverage with live scores, stats, and more, check out Tournament Live only at cbs.sportsline.com or America Online, keyword CBS Sports Live. Good step in by Bauer for the steal. Lursman now in the game. Whoa. Nearly a backcourt violation as Lursman saved it. Dean Oliver getting a breather. Lursman trying to break down Kareem Reed. Shot clock at 15. Bauer on a double team.
Look at the defensive effort, though. It is solid. The intensity right there at the beginning. Got to go the other way with that one.
Derek Hood looked over to his left at Kareem Reed and then shuffled the feet for the travel violation.
Nolan Richardson likes the up-tempo, obviously, at the offensive end also. You have to give some credit for Iowa just then getting back, forcing the action defensively.
Joey Range comes on for Iowa, replacing Jason Bauer. A 5-3 Hawkeyes lead, 17:34 to play first half. Knocked her out off of Jeffries. Out of bounds. The Arkansas Razorbacks, they have tasted what a championship is all about. 1994. One of the hotter teams in the nation coming out of the SEC and peaking at the right time. Joey Range putting it off the window.
Pretty set with some good movement from out of bounds, and Joey Range had to tuck the ball away.
Look out, Jeffries had to catch it, rejected by Koch.
The pass being so high allowed Koch an opportunity to get back for the second opportunity.
Ryan Lursman. He lost the ball out of bounds, but it came off of Walker. So Iowa will retain possession with 27 on the clock.
Arkansas double teams. They look for trap opportunities, and then the guys who are not involved have to read situations.
Iowa 2 of 2 from the field to open play. They lead it by 4. Lursman comes to the ball. Penetration, dish off. Koch couldn't catch it. And the 4th turnover for Iowa in the early going. Walker, open look. Second trifecta.
When Iowa has turned the basketball over in bad situations, Arkansas has come down and made them pay for it.
7-6, Iowa. Range. A little bit out of control. He tried to save it. Walker stepped in front. Hood running the break, and Iowa gets back defensively. Reed on a spin move. That's pretty. Fight for it underneath, and Hood couldn't get the roll. Joey Range the rebound in traffic.
Hood struggling a little bit with a hip problem.
Lursman accelerating to the rim. He gave up his body, and Jeffries took it. Offensive foul, second time.
Coming right at you. You go up, you look away, but look at Jeffries sliding in. Jeffries has taken 2 chances defensively with 2 fouls. I mean, that's a bang-bang type of call from the official. Sliding in there, you have to be so careful with that. Nolan Richardson giving him a little break. Pretty good work at the defensive end. Here's that full court pressure, just to slow Arkansas down. It doesn't look like it's working.
Reed on a dish off, and Range was there. Oliver has returned for Iowa, and Brandon Dean now out there for Arkansas. He's called for the foul. The Iowa Hawkeyes, 3 Final Fours. The last time came in 1980. But this is a team that has been unable to get out of the second round. 6 consecutive second-round losses in the NCAA tournament. They went to the Sweet 16 under head coach Tom Davis back in 1988. But since then, it's been the second-round Blues.
They just have to control the tempo and make good decisions. High screen here for the big fella, Jakes.
That's Jacob Jakes, who just checked in. Guy Rucker out there as well, as Iowa goes big up front, and they turn it over.
I know Iowa has this lead, but they don't look real comfortable.
Timeout. 15:49 to play first half. A 1-point Iowa advantage. 7-6, Iowa with the lead here early in the first half. Right now, let's check in with Mike Mayock.
Hey, Ian, thanks very much. Just prior to tip, I talked with head coach Tom Davis. He said as the pressure intensifies in this tournament, you've got to keep your poise. And there's a perception that Arkansas is the quicker team and Iowa's more of a power team. He said, let's get one thing straight. We have better athletes than people think. And Ian, I think that'll be sorely tested later this afternoon.
Well, Tom Davis should know his 11th overall NCAA tournament appearance. And his team now with a 1-point lead. They are 2 of 2 from the field, but they've committed 7 turnovers. Bradley, long distance shot for 3. Out of bounds.
Nolan Richardson has said also at the other end as Tom Davis positions his team at the defensive end. Nolan Richardson has said when we hit the long 3-point shot, we were a totally different team. It helps our defense out actually also. They're getting some looks. Currently 2 for 5 from the floor long range.
Davis thought it came off of Arkansas, but the Razorbacks will hold on to it. Looking for the lead. Walker has 2 3-pointers already here today. Another open look. Short.
Have to get a hand up there, so they have to contest these 3-point shots.
Bradley came away with the offensive rebound. Dean from the other side. Can't hit the 3. Hood had it bounce off his head. And Iowa controls it. Joey Range driving. Counted in a foul.
Joey Range using the body on the break. It's 6'5", 200 pounds. Takes it down the floor. Uses the power at the end of this play. Goes down, watch him tuck that ball. He'll come to the left side, tuck it away from the defender. Once the defender goes by you and tries to miss and misses on the ball, that's when you bring it back up. Uses the strength to get it to go.
He is a very physical player, a true freshman from Galesburg, Illinois. 10-6, Iowa.
Iowa in the full court just to slow them down a bit.
And Walker lost control of it as Jakes came away with it.
Tom Davis mentioned his decisions against Arkansas. The same is true for Nolan Richardson's squad.
Inside, Rucker, a brick.
Look at him work down deep.
And it came off of Arkansas out of bounds.
Nice effort there by Jakes, working the offensive glass, getting a hand in there to keep it alive. You see Jakes right in the middle, going against 2 of the Arkansas players. He 3 and 4 times. Gets the basketball. That might have been his foot, though. It went off.
Officials didn't see it that way. Rucker, as Reed went for the steal and a reach-in foul called. It is Kareem Reed. Let's reset the lineups for you. Reed, Cleveland, Dean, Hood, and Bradley for Arkansas. It's Jakes, Rucker, Oliver, Bauer, and Range for Iowa.
When Arkansas double teams, you should take a look at the numbers. A slow start shooting the basketball for them with 11 field goal attempts. They make their decisions. They're instructed that if you see a double teaming opportunity, go for it. And then the other 3 guys, their job is to react in the back row of players.
McCausland comes in, replacing Bauer. Dean Oliver, the sophomore. Oliver, the jump shot. Rebounded by Jakes. And he's fouled.
One of the things Iowa continues to do is try to bring this game down deep. They can shoot the ball from long range. With their success level, it'll open up the perimeter if they can drag people down to the blocks and into the paint area. 4 across here, they sometimes will go for a lob. So you have 4 guys across the bottom of the floor, down by the baseline. See if they try for a lob. It's not there. Well defended.
Iowa has been aggressive, though. 16 fouls on Arkansas. The next one will put Iowa in the bonus.
And look at how much time is left in this first half. 14 minutes and change. It's a good situation for Iowa.
Swarming defense from Arkansas. Settles the jump shot. No good. Range tried to follow it as he scooped it with the right hand. Cleveland gives it up. Kareem Reed, that slingshot delivery. Rimming out. Knocked up in the air for Jakes. 10-6, Iowa.
Arkansas may have to test the same thing down in the paint.
Crossover. Oliver gives it up. McCausland for 3. Rebounded on the weak side by Bradley. He tracked it down.
Oh, maybe a double dribble. Yep.
Arkansas turns it over. The premiere of Payne coming up on CBS Monday after Raymond as John LaRoquette returns to television as an innkeeper with an attitude. That's Payne right here on CBS. Arkansas with that unforced error, but Iowa still leads the category 7-5 in turnovers. Lursman back in there. The leaner. He draws the foul.
See, that's a pretty good decision. They're going to force Iowa to use the basketball on the floor, and they have to make good decisions. The best part of that decision for Lursman, though, was he pulled up for a little jumper rather than running over somebody at the end of the play.
Ryan Lursman. He can play either guard position. You'll see him back up Oliver or then shift over and play the 2-guard spot. He is a perimeter presence, shooting 38% from 3-point range, a junior out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And he gets the roll. Arkansas wasting little time. This is Cleveland.
5-point lead for Iowa.
That full court presence by Iowa has not allowed Arkansas to come down the floor and get easy buckets, though. That's one of the keys.
Sergario Gibson, another one of those Arkansas freshmen, now on the floor. Brandon Dean gives it up for Hood, who's yet to get involved offensively. Dean with 10 to shoot, using a lot of the clock. Dean, that quick first step, he couldn't finish it. Hood couldn't grab it. Knocked out of bounds. Who's got it? Arkansas does with a new shot clock.
A good judgment by Dean with the shot clock going down. Tom Davis continues to shuttle people in and out. He's going to keep the fresh bodies in there, even though the tempo has not gotten out of control as of yet.
J.R. Koch in for Jacob Jakes. Arkansas, no field goals over the last 3:48. They are 2 of 13 overall.
They shot so well from the outside in their first round game. Sometimes you can lull yourself into believing that that's all we should be looking for, are long-range shots. They've got to use their speed to get into that lane area, break some people down. That'll open the perimeter for them.
Cleveland penetration.
Nobody's going for it except Iowa.
McCausland, the pull-up pop. High arcing shot as he knocks it down.
Great recognition there, because that's not an automatic backcourt.
Lead feed, Kareem Reed working his way to the interior.
There's a little show of the Arkansas offense.
13-8, Iowa. Bauer back in there. Koch gave up the dribble, and he just pulled Cleveland down to the ground. Foul call.
Sometimes when the ball goes back court, the offensive team thinks, well, it's back court, it's going to be a violation. Nice little rundown. McCausland goes way upstairs. A little drifted, but Arkansas answered back in a hurry.
J.R. Koch called for the foul. Arkansas with a quick 7 on the board for team fouls. Sergario Gibson for 3. Short. The Arkansas Razorbacks, who played their first round game with relative ease, trying to get much tougher here against Iowa. Nice cut to the basket by Bauer.
Great decision off the ball, too. And Iowa looks very, very comfortable, and they're controlling the tempo because they're not giving up the quick transition offense.
15-8, Hawkeyes. Jeffries guarded by Settles.
I don't think they can settle for the outside. Here we go.
Walker driving it to the basket, and he draws the foul. Bauer spilled to the floor, and Chris Walker is going to the free throw line.
The double team out front. You have a situation where backdoor works even from the power side to the weak side if guys are rotating on the defensive end.
J.R. Koch picks up his second personal foul. Walker shoots at 67%, a gutsy player, a former walk-on who earned his scholarship at Arkansas from Pine Bluff. Had some other offers, but decided he wanted to play basketball for the Razorbacks, and he stuck it out.
The team nicknamed him the Creep because he gets everything done in a silent fashion. He's pretty active so far.
Another free throw for Walker. He's got it, and a timeout. 11:43 to play, first half. It's 15-10, Hawkeyes.
Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg at our studios here in New York, and while we keep that score at the bottom of your screen, let's take you around the country and tell you what's happening first in Indianapolis, where Oklahoma State and Auburn started out like a house of fire, Clark. Auburn shooting 41% from the field. The winner of this game will play the winner of the Detroit-Ohio State game on Thursday in Knoxville.
Well, Oklahoma State, Greg, has the ability to be able to attack the pressure. As you can see, Auburn is pulling out of it because they play primarily 3 or 4 guards. With that, you can spread the floor, and you can get your shooters good shots.
Alex Weber, the Oklahoma State center, saddled with 3 fouls already.
Adrian Peterson, he and Desmond Mason both had big games. Peterson there showing you his game with his back to the basket. Comfortable pace for Oklahoma State here. Auburn would much rather play up-tempo. Oklahoma State looking to shorten the game a little bit and maximize every possession.
Meanwhile, at the Key Arena in Seattle, Gonzaga and Stanford and the Bulldogs have been on top from the early going in this one.
Remember now, the other day they started very quickly against Minnesota, had to fight off a furious charge in the second half, and I think what we're seeing happening now, Greg, Gonzaga got off to the good start, but Stanford starting to wear them down. At the 8-minute mark, Stanford was already in the bonus shooting foul shots on every common foul.
I know as we were watching this game early on, Clark, you said watch the rebounding in this game.
And surprisingly, Gonzaga had stayed even, actually was out-rebounding Stanford in the first 9-10 minutes of this game, but that size has a cumulative effect on you over the course of a game.
All right, Clark, let's take you back to Denver now. McNichols Sports Arena, 5th seed at Iowa, 4th seed Arkansas. Let's rejoin Ian Eagle and Jim Spanarkel.
Iowa has led this one from the beginning. Bradley, a three-pointer off the mark. And some action on the inside, a loose ball foul. The Iowa Hawkeyes come in as the 5 seed. Arkansas coming off a very impressive win over Siena, but so far, not only have the Hawkeyes not backed down, they've gone right at Arkansas.
They sure have, and the thing about it, too, is that Arkansas has not shot the three well at all. They're just struggling from long range. The looks are there. They're not getting them to drop, and Iowa's being pretty patient at the offensive end.
Foul called on Joe Dean Davenport. Talented freshman Chris Jeffries is on the bench after picking up his 3rd personal foul. 1-1 for J.R. Koch, and he will get the second free throw. With his team in front by 6.
And already Arkansas at 9 team fouls. Plenty of time left in the half at 10:53.
Koch out of Morton, Illinois.
The only way that becomes effective, that number, though, the team foul situation favoring Iowa, is that if you take the ball to the basket more frequently than what you would normally do, you want to take advantage of it and get to the line.
Lorsman is in for McCausland, and Iowa has a 17-10 advantage. On the outside, Reed. He's been held in check. Oliver going for the steal. Kareem Reed gives it up. Bradley couldn't catch it. Ball knocked around. Oliver scrambling for it. Calls the timeout for Iowa.
He had the ball tucked underneath his stomach, and before he gathered it in, he was trying to get a timeout. Watch, the ball's going to roll right to his belly now. He doesn't have it. It's still under, but he's looking up to the official to call a timeout. That's a great awareness play by Dean Oliver.
Wise beyond his years. Just a sophomore. 22nd timeout. 17-10. Iowa with the lead. 10:34 to play here in the first half. Denver, Colorado. UConn has already advanced to the Sweet 16. (17-10). Iowa has the advantage. Coming up on the midway point of the first half. Settles had it blocked away. Rebounded by Walker. Pat Bradley defended by Oliver. Walker out on the perimeter. This is Hood. Drive on Koch. Settles the rebound off of the miss. Lorsman trying to get it inside. Koch the extra feed for Joey Ray.
And the key concept there is the extra feed, the extra pass. They are brilliant at looking for one another now. They've rattled Arkansas at the defensive end.
Walker goes cross court for Reed. Off of penetration. Book it in a foul.
That's where Arkansas has to play this game a little bit. Utilize that quickness on the offensive end, put it on the floor, and get in the paint area. You got to make people defend. You got to make them react. This is a great point guard matchup we have going with Reed and Oliver really trying to direct their teams and control the tempo of the flow.
TJ Cleveland will check into the game, another of those freshmen. He's the nephew of Arkansas assistant Mike Anderson and has been around this program for so many years. Joe Dean Davenport, the tight end on the Arkansas football team, will get a breather. And Reed trying to complete a three-point play. No good. Shakes the rebound. 19-12. Only 12 points for Arkansas as we approach the 9-minute mark of the first half.
The defense keeps coming out. Backdoor.
No look feed. Lorsman to settle. He couldn't
through.
He may have hop-stepped on one foot just then.
He did. Traveling is called.
That was a terrific backdoor cut by Settles. And how about the hang time? Here it comes right at us, bang. He goes up, the hang, the little spin, and just spins the ball just a tiny bit too much. He traveled before he got to 20. The thought process was there, but the hop was also.
Settles to the bench, and Dr. Tom Davis just continues to make changes.
He dictates the flow of his game by the defensive effort. The big guy right there getting into problems. Jake's a little bit of a trouble. But going against a quick guy, you got to move away from him. But the tempo has been in favor of Iowa.
And Dean a little shaken up. Brandon Dean grabbing at that left leg.
Well, the big fella, what'd he do? Throw a little knee into him a little bit up to high side, left side. Jakes is a big fella too when he puts the body on you.
So Dean goes to the bench, who will be attended to by the Arkansas medical staff. Kareem Reed goes to the free throw line. It's Reed, Cleveland, Walker, Bradley, and Hood. Rucker, Jakes, Range, Lorsman, and McCausland for Iowa. First free throw for Reed. He'll get another.
And Iowa has crept up into the bonus situation, so Arkansas will be going to the line.
1 out of 2 for Reed.
So a situation that they can start using that to their advantage also by plugging it down deep.
Derek Hood on a kick out for Walker. Three-pointer. Pulls up.
Good decision by Hood just then also.
11 points for Chris Walker, the junior. Lorsman gave up his dribble.
They look a little unsteady this trip. Let's see if they can regather.
Range inside. Jakes.
3 seconds in a walk, whatever you want to call it.
Couple different things. They called the 3-second violation. It could have gone either way.
There was a menu of choices there for the official. See, this was just a sloppy opportunity. 3 guys around him. He's in there for a long count. And, I mean, if not that, then he could have gotten called for an offensive at some point, too.
That's a buffet. You just go in.
All you can eat.
They decided on the 3-second call. 10th turnover for Iowa, but they lead at 19-16. Reed off for Walker. He's had the hot hand for Arkansas. Bradley can't get it to drop for 3. And Pat Bradley is struggling here in the first half. Came in shooting 38% from long range. Rucker. And the follow from J.R. Koch.
Here we go to the races.
Reed leaning in for the layup. And Kareem Reed off of a made basket getting down the floor quickly.
Oliver doing a good job of directing traffic, though.
He's a smart player, Dean Oliver.
Oh, look at this move.
Gorgeous ball fake for 2.
2 times in a row, and he's come down the floor as a general and has made some terrific decisions.
3rd team all Big Ten as a sophomore. Bradley, he put it off the glass and in.
You don't see him in there too often among the big guys. No one stepped across the lane to help out.
Pat Bradley now 1 of 5 shooting. His first field goal. Koch, he can hit it from there. 3-pointer too strong. Rucker offensive rebound, and Iowa reset. McCausland picked up by Walker. Taking their time in the half-court set. Long 3, Oliver, short. And it's rebounded by Reed. On the move, Reed, no-look feed for Bradley. Walker, open look at a 3. Koch couldn't grab it. Walker does.
Arkansas with 2 good looks that trip down the floor with their secondary break.
Iowa better hurry. McCausland had a notion. 23-20. Hawkeyes in a fast-moving first half of action. This is Koch in a mismatch with Bradley.
Keep those elbows down when you're making that swing. That's one of the things Tom Davis has them do is they take the basketball and they swing it by the defender, trying to get themselves in a fouling situation.
And the foul called. 10th team foul on Arkansas. Pat Bradley picking up his 2nd personal. And 2 free throws coming up for J.R. Koch, the senior.
Koch is a player who has shown so much improvement over his time spent at Iowa. Actually got booed as a freshman at home games because so much was expected of him. But slowly but surely, he became an option offensively, averaging in double figures this year.
He's worked on his outside shot where he shoots the ball at around 37%, so he becomes a big guy who can step away from the basket.
Gibson and Dean check in for Arkansas. And Jess Settles has come back in for Iowa. Another free throw for J.R. Koch. Timeout. Iowa with the lead, 24-20. Arkansas shooting just 30% from the field as we take a look at our game summary. Walker, the high man, with 11 points. And maybe the surprise isn't the fact that Iowa has a lead. They're a quality team, but the surprise here has to be the fact that they have been able to contain Arkansas offensively.
Well, you mentioned that number with Walker shooting the basketball from long range. All the other Arkansas players are at 0 for 8, so they've contained the tempo. Their extension full court defense has helped to slow down the pace a little bit on the offensive end for Arkansas.
Iowa with the 24-20 advantage. This is the 4-5 matchup in the West region. Arkansas seeded 4th.
We switch at the defensive end. We have a matchup right now.
Dean the lob. Hood just trying to get involved offensively. And a foul call. Jess Settles was looking for the traveling violation. Instead, he picked up his second personal foul.
Sometimes there's a reason for the travel, and that's because Settles gave him a little two-arm chest bump.
Derek Hood, averaging a double-double this season. Over 12 points, 10 rebounds per game. And he cuts into the Iowa lead.
Didn't play well in the first half of the Siena game. Really didn't need to play well. Came back a little bit better in the second half of that game.
Just 2 points and 1 board today for Hood. Oliver gets it across.
Good double team. Nice and strong and aggressive. Arkansas uses the hands on the perimeter too. That's why you'll see that swing just then. You see the swing of the ball past the hands from the Iowa players.
Lursman going behind the back. Nice feed inside. Koch called for steps.
Koch could have gone straight up. I know he had a defender standing there with him, but I think that's when you want to power in.
Ahead of the field, Derek Hood slams it down.
They caught him napping right there. There's no reason in the world you should give up a bucket like that.
First tie of the day with 5:42 to play, first half. Oliver trying to speed ahead. He does across the line. Joey Range trying a crossover, and it came off his leg out of bounds.
Now what we've been talking about.
Range and Reed exchanging some words after the whistle.
The aggressive play is picking up the intensity level. Tom Davis looking for some calls and some work from the officials.
13th Iowa turnover. Hawkeyes, though, don't want to get into this back and forth affair with Arkansas.
They don't mind the running, but you're absolutely correct with the Arkansas. I think it's running is a different level with Arkansas, as you see in the last 3:45, a 12-5 run, because they don't want to take a chance of it being ragged up and down.
Controlled fast breaks.
Yeah, if they have them, go for it, but they do not want to do what we've just seen a moment ago.
Cleveland to the outside and Hood.
Back to the matchup here. By matchup, if the ball is, if you're guarding the man, it's man-to-man while he's in your area. If he leaves, you fill up the space.
Arkansas looking for its first lead. Hood is fouled from behind by Rucker.
One of the best ways to break the matchup zone is basically to put it on the floor. That way you bring a defender out, and the rotation down below is usually too slow to get back for the big fellas.
Guy Rucker, a junior, has that big body, 6'10", 270 pounds. But Hood cannot take advantage with his first free throw. Tied at 24. And the first lead of the game for the Razorbacks.
They're looking for double teams.
Inside, Rucker camping out in the lane. Rejected. Count it. It's goaltending.
Good call from the officials. Nice little ball movement. And then you have a situation where he takes a good strong move into the paint.
Iowa regains the lead by 1. 4:54 to play. First half, Iowa 26, Arkansas 25.
Iowa has led for the majority of the first half. Arkansas grabbed a 1-point lead just moments ago, but the Hawkeyes have gotten it back. Cleveland knocks it down for 3. The freshman from Birmingham.
It gets them excited when they hit the threes. Let's look at the intensity this trip defensively. Look at the extension.
Arkansas with a 2-point advantage, and that's their largest lead.
And this is where decisions are important for Iowa.
McCausland getting it inside. Jakes lost the handle. Trying to spin in. And Jakes just took a tumble as Brandon Dean grabbed the basketball. It's a tie-up situation. Arkansas will get it on the defensive tie-up.
As much activity as there was on that play, I think it's the right call. Right now when it comes down, Dean gets in there. He has all ball. He's not grabbing his arm. He's underneath the arm and around on the right side. It's the right call. The official, if you're looking at this play now, the official from the right side of the screen comes in and overrules the call because he had a better angle right in front of Nolan Richardson.
28-26 Arkansas as we come up on 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Razorbacks the 4 seed, Iowa the 5 seed. Gibson a 3. Came up high off for the rebound. Joey Range gives it up for Jake's reverse delivery. Tied at 28. Arkansas comes right back. Dean is fouled by McCausland.
That was blistering how fast they got up the floor that trip. Tom Davis does not like the call, but there was a reach in at the very end of that play.
Coming up, Pentoil at the half. Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg will get you updated on all the tournament news and the scores and highlights, plus a live look at all the action going on in the NCAA tournament. That's coming up. Pentoil at the half. Derek Hood back out onto the floor, replacing Joe Dean Davenport, and Brandon Dean will get his second free throw.
He missed that shot. He's a 55% free throw shooter. His shoulders went away from the basket. You want to try to get your shoulders going towards the basket. That's one of his problems. He's got to drift his shoulders towards that basket.
That one spins out. They converge on Oliver.
He's good with the ball, though. He's getting bumped.
Very elusive.
Now look at the pressure. It's okay if you pick up fouls like that because the intensity gets you thinking as a ball handler.
TJ Cleveland, that's number 2.
You see a little body action. Oliver's actually trying to find the body to get a call here. Watch the close coming in, though. It is strong, it's intense, it's aggressive, and it's a good call from the officials.
And it sends Dean Oliver to the line. The team's leading scorer as a sophomore, 12 points per game. Out of Mason City, Iowa. Both of these teams' young players missing free throws as Rucker goes to the bench. And Jess Settles, the 6th-year senior, enters the game.
In the first round game, Oliver took over in that second half and had 2 old-fashioned three-point drives, plays where he converted the free throws. Solid effort with the basketball.
Very short on the second attempt. Reed, no-look feed. Whoa! Ouch! Brandon Dean went up high to get it.
He was way past high on that one.
Oliver able to spin in. Settles couldn't handle it. Here's Reed. He gets the layup to drop.
Tom Davis wants him to settle down a little bit now. Maybe pass the ball versus this double teaming. Don't dribble it.
32-28. Arkansas and a foul call.
Upstairs we go. The beauty of this play is getting down on the floor, going after it. Good effort to keep things alive, and Reed with the speed at that particular point just outruns everyone.
But TJ Cleveland picked up his 3rd personal foul. Oliver, 2 free throws. Hits on the first. And Walker comes in for Cleveland.
We knew Dean could get off the floor, but I was pretty impressed with how quickly he got up there for that dunk.
Brandon Dean climbing the invisible ladder. Oliver knocks down a pair. We've got a 2-point game. 32-30.
Brandon Dean, acrobatic. Arkansas up by 2. 32-30, Arkansas with the lead on Iowa. 3:07 to play here in the first half, and finally you see signs of Arkansas beginning to dictate tempo and get into their style of play.
Here we go again.
Gibson. Koch got a piece of it. Inside, Hood, negated. Koch.
Got it a second time.
Good presence on the interior as Koch holds on. He's looking for the open man.
Bounce passes are so dangerous against Arkansas.
Lursman, he lost it. Gibson took it away.
Good range behind him.
Reed, the trailer, and he floats it through. That Arkansas pressure beginning to get to Iowa. It's a 4-point Razorbacks lead.
Even when you get the ball behind them, or ahead of them, I should say, they come from behind and they start flicking the ball and going after your dribbles.
Settles. 2-pointer, foot was on the line. Can't get the roll. Hood, quick outlet for Reed. Gibson is ahead. Settles able to break it up.
A terrific play, nearly hit the rim going by.
Lursman gives up his dribble, and he's forced to take a timeout. The constant pressure from Brandon Dean. 2:10 left, first half. Arkansas with a 34-30 edge. A 20-second timeout called by the Hawkeyes.
And the reason for this timeout with Tom Davis, he wants to kind of reassure his team. Hey, guys, we played well against Arkansas early in this game. We were making good decisions. We weren't getting rattled. Let's try to get back, settle into our sets offensively. From Nolan Richardson down the other end, I am reinforcing just what we've seen over the last 2 minutes. Keep rattling them, keep pressuring them, keep flicking the ball, make them dribble, make them make decisions on a quick basis.
4-point game. There's no doubt these Hawkeyes are playing hard for outgoing head coach Dr. Tom Davis. He has not made it a public issue, but privately, you know that these players want to win desperately for their head coach. 34-30, under 2 minutes left. 4-point Arkansas lead. Ball knocked out of bounds with 1:52 to play, and it's going the other way. The Arkansas Razorbacks are trying to take control of this game, which had been controlled earlier by the Iowa Hawkeyes.
The question becomes, as we've touched on here in the first half, is the tempo set. Who can really set this tempo? In the first 8-9 minutes of the half, it was the other side. Nolan Richardson did not have control of it. Iowa had control of it. Now, for the last 5 or 6, Arkansas is definitely in control.
In transition, Arkansas has outscored Iowa 16-10. Walker a 3. He's got it. Chris Walker drilling another long jump shot. He's got 14 points. 4 3-pointers.
He's really the one who's stroking the ball from long range. No one else really is a factor for Arkansas.
Arkansas has its largest lead. Rucker to the outside, Oliver.
Yep, try to get something down on the blocks again.
This is Rucker establishing position for the bucket.
So you have the size. They're a big team. They have to use Koch down below. Get the big guy Rucker involved again.
Reed off and running. Dipsy-do off the window.
He is so good at hanging in the air and making something happen.
Oliver straight down the middle of the floor, and a blocking foul is called. Brandon Dean took the hit.
Sometimes as you come down the floor, you have to be a little shifty with the basketball. He's shifting it, he's moving it, brings it away from the defender. A couple of guys can just do that once. You pull it away once from the defender, then you have to shoot. He can do it 2 and 3 times down the floor.
Third personal foul on Brandon Dean, the freshman, who is a major talent. Dean Oliver hitting on the first free throw. He now has 10 points. With just a shade under 1 minute left, first half. Sergario Gibson checks in to replace Dean, freshman for freshman.
It's an important minute, too, right now. 39-33. Arkansas is going to look to try to push, see if they can get another quick bucket. Iowa has to try to shut them down and not let them get the transition going for the last minute.
Oliver connects on both free throws. Bauer and Oliver will go to the bench as McCausland comes into the game along with Lursman. Reed gets it across, the all-time assist leader in Arkansas history. The dish off.
Derek Hood had it knocked down by Jakes. Fight for the loose ball. Hood clears it. Plenty of time to work with. Bradley back on the floor for Arkansas. 15 on the shot clock. Gibson slashing to the basket and a blocking foul. Jakes took the hit. (39-34) Arkansas. Clock stopped with 38 seconds to play in the first half. Sergario Gibson to the free throw line. Jacob Jakes, his third personal foul.
The guy was just a tiny bit late getting across the lane. Arkansas has done a better job in the last 5 minutes also, not just settling for long-range shots, but they're taking their quickness at the dribble and going towards the paint area with guys like Reed and Gibson.
Arkansas making a defensive switch with Brandon Davis coming onto the floor, replacing Pat Bradley. And Joey Range getting a breather for Iowa. J.R. Koch has returned. Jakes to the bench. Gibson's second free throw. A 3-second difference. Shot clock, the game clock. Final moments, first half.
What's up for grabs there?
Dangerous pass. And Iowa is very lucky that they didn't turn it over.
The intended receiver, I thought that was Oliver just then, didn't realize that ball was lobbed to him. He thought it was lobbed to a guy behind him. There's the big guy. You don't need the big guy, but Koch that time came right back in towards the basketball as a safety release.
About a half a second difference now. Shot clock, the game clock. Oliver matched up with Gibson. 16 seconds left.
Try to get something going to the basket.
Oliver with 10. Gives up his dribble. This is McCausland on the outside. Down to 6. Inside, Koch. Couldn't get it to fall off the window. Knocked out of bounds with 2.8 remaining.
Plenty of time to catch and get a shot off. Arkansas wants to talk it over for about 20 seconds or so. And you have plenty of time to get a shot off. It's got to be a quick hit.
Beginning March 30th, Craig Kilborn brings his unique comedy style to CBS Late Night. Former college basketball player and cable sportscaster and a comedy star. Soon, the host of his own late night talk show. Catch the premiere of The Late Late Show with Craig Kilborn March 30th after David Letterman right here on CBS. So Iowa will have it for the final 2.8 of the first half, trailing 41-34. Early on, the Arkansas Razorbacks just couldn't get into their offense. And Jason Jennings, the 7-footer for Arkansas, will apply pressure out on the baseline.
You want to get this to a guard, Ian, to let him be able to dribble if there's no lob.
Well, this is Koch. McCausland at the buzzer. No good. 1/2 of play in the books from Denver. Arkansas has its largest lead, 41-34.
It's actually a good set. They bring the Koch out as a decoy. McCausland comes right back. Look at how wide open he is. Usually he flat out buries that shot.
Mike Mayock is standing by with Arkansas head coach Nolan Richardson. Mike?
Coach, it looked like Iowa did a pretty good job controlling tempo early.
Well, they did. We had to get into our street fight type of game. I thought we did an excellent job once we got into it. You know, the part that really worries me is Derek Hood is back. And he's just playing with nothing but sheer guts right now, and we can't rebound if he's not in the ball game.
And three-point shot just not dropping today like it did the other night.
Well, we always known that, some days you shoot them, some days you don't. Your defense got to pay off for you.
Well, good luck with that street fight in the second half.
Thank you, sir.
Ian Eagle, back to you.
End of the first half. Arkansas leads it 41-34. Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg will be along with Pennzoil at the half after this message and a word from your local station.
Welcome once again to Pennzoil at the half, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg at halftime. Arkansas 41-34 lead on Iowa. We said there'd be a lot of three-point shots. We didn't say there'd be a lot of them made, but can you imagine where Iowa would be if they hadn't turned the ball over 15 times in the first half?
Those 15 turnovers, Greg, led to 14 points for Arkansas. And in the last part of that first half, Arkansas got the pace revved up more to their liking. That's why they're on top.
To the Sweet 16. with an easy victory over New Mexico. The winner of this game will match up against the top-seeded Huskies in the next round. Walker pulls it out for Reed. Jeffries was in foul trouble in the first half, trying to get it inside to Hood. Out of bounds.
Hood did not expect that to be a pass. He was thinking shot just then, and with all the threes they've taken in the last game and a half, I'd be expecting a three also.
First couple of minutes so pivotal for Iowa. If Arkansas can go back and forth with that ragged style, Hawkeyes might be in some trouble. Settles, gives it up, but gets it back. Ball fake, jumper, no good. Jeff Settles still looking for his first points of the game. He is 0 of 7 shooting. Bradley, an open look, fading away for 3.
Become a little different team when Bradley starts to shoot the ball well. He was 0 for 4 from long range, 1 for 5 on the half.
And now a 10-point cushion for the Razorbacks. This is their largest lead. McCausland. This is Bauer getting it to the interior, and Koch couldn't bank it through.
Have to put that one down if they're going to hang around with a quick, spirited bunch of Arkansas players who are looking to really up-tempo this thing again.
Walker pulls the trigger and hits a 3.
They were stroking that in the first round game. This is a good timeout by Tom Davis. His team comes out, gives up a couple of quick long-range jumpers. The tempo has changed.
17 points for Walker. Timeout, Iowa.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by the new Chevy Silverado, Kemper Farm, the United States Air Force, and by Dell.
Tournament summary, the SEC, the only undefeated conference so far. Wisconsin coming up with the fewest points so far in this tournament. And here in our game in Denver, an 8-0 run for the Razorbacks. They lead it 47-34. McCausland knocks it down for 3.
Missed that jumper at the end of the first half, which could have made a difference for Iowa, but he comes back when they need a big bucket, and they get one. Good set.
Kareem Reed on a dish off. Hood couldn't catch it. Out of bounds.
Hood, as we mentioned earlier, has been struggling a little bit with the hip injury. Took a tough fall in the first round game, but has to be ready to catch that basketball. Reed going right at him.
5 points, 5 rebounds for Derek Hood. Not the kind of numbers that Nolan Richardson has been accustomed to. Senior out of Kansas City, Missouri. Wants to be a math teacher when his basketball career is over. McCausland coming up short. Bauer the rebound.
Looking for him, though, aren't they?
McCausland a 3. Yes.
Wow, he's a stroke. 2 out of the last 3, but they were beautiful looks.
Third three-pointer of the day for Iowa. Kent McCausland, number 6 all-time in NCAA career three-point shooting. 45% during his 4-year career with Iowa.
Brings back the little guy into the game is what Nolan Richardson said about it.
Jumper from Walker, no good. Out of bounds, and Arkansas will retain possession with a brand new 35. And a 20-second timeout from Nolan Richardson. 47-4. So Iowa showing some signs of life here in the second half. Just about 3 minutes gone by since halftime.
And that was a good timeout by Nolan Richardson in Arkansas because they get a little bit out of their sets defensively.
Had some action as Arkansas was trying to inbounds the ball, and Chris Walker gets called on a foul.
Amazing how you come out sometimes after timeouts and you guys just don't execute for you. It's like a wasted timeout. We'll see if Iowa can come down and continue the assault from long range.
First personal on Walker. Iowa able to get it across. Koch gives up his dribble. Settles looking to get going. Just Settles side rim on the long one.
Really struggling. He had good legs underneath him. He was anticipating shot. Starting to think a little bit. He's 0 for 8 from the floor.
Jeffries a three-pointer. Koch the box out. Gets it to Bauer. On the dish off. Extra feed. McCausland from the corner. Kent McCausland another three.
Shooters try to find rhythm, and he has found his rhythm, and he is pumped.
Third three of the day for McCausland, 11 points overall. And a full timeout has been called. 16:20 to play. 47-43, Arkansas.
Iowa has crept back into this basketball game, and the reason they have is they're starting to shoot from long range. McCausland from the side, letting it rip. Last 3 out of 4 for him, and the reaction is superb.
Kent McCausland, 3 3-pointers. 4 made in total for the Iowa Hawkeyes after connecting on 12, which was a new team record in NCAA tournament play of a first-round victory. A 9-0 Hawkeyes run. Reed trying to settle things down with his team still leading by 4. Bradley dumping it inside, and Hood comes up short.
That's another factor at the defensive end. He's really given Hood problems when Hood turns and looks to shoot a shot. There's always been a hand in his face.
Lorsman on the floor. This is Settles. The catch, release, and the deuce for Koch.
Looked like a carbon copy jumper, hitting it from the other side. Settles did the same thing before. His last trip down, shot the ball from long range. That looked exactly like it.
47-45 Razorbacks, and 11-0 Iowa run. Walker thought about it. Bauer is daring him to take it. Off the fingertips of Jeffries. And Bauer took it away.
This was like the tone in the first half. The first 7 minutes of this game is the same exact way this is being played.
McCausland for Lorsman. Lorsman, penetration. Lost it for a moment. And he shuffled the feet, or was it a foul? It's a foul called on Arkansas.
The decisions are so important, but here's Settles with the lob. I'm pretty sure that was a lob. He was missed by a foot, but it looks good. Doesn't look like he's shooting it. Hood thought he was shooting it. Hood turns the rebound. Koch goes right to the basket for the alley-oop.
Chris Jeffries picking up his 4th personal foul. He has not scored here today, the freshman from California. Settles on a turnaround. Got it! Just settles his first deuce.
They're all over it now with this full court action.
Lorsman, yes!
Defense is supposed to rattle them. They're not supposed to be really rattling Arkansas. Here we go again.
Turning the tables. Oliver got contact. Koch slammed it down. It'll be waved off. The foul was called.
Koch should have left that basketball alone, too, Ian, because it was hanging up there. I'm not sure if it was going to come out quickly, but the defensive pressure. Iowa comes up. They extend. The careless passes in the middle of the floor. This basketball is hanging. Clearly, it was going to come off, so it doesn't really matter that Koch went up there and dunked it through, because that did not count.
4th personal foul on Brandon Dean. And Dean Oliver at the free throw line. Missing on the first attempt. Iowa leads it by 2. Cleveland will come in for Bradley as Dean remains on the floor. And now Nolan Richardson will make the change. Sergario Gibson checks in for Dean. And another free throw coming up for Dean Oliver.
See, the first 5 minutes of this half, Tom Davis has controlled the tempo. But now Nolan Richardson is putting his other guys in off the bench to kind of get some helter-skelter back into this game.
Reed gets it across for Gibson. Gave up his dribble. Walker off of penetration. Oliver went for the steal and a reach-in foul. 50-47, Hawkeyes. A 16-0 run for Iowa.
I think Iowa lulled them to sleep a little bit in the first 5 minutes of this half. And now they're extending their defense a little bit out to the perimeter.
Any thoughts that Arkansas may be getting tired with the altitude?
No, I don't think so. I think they're very well conditioned. They're using the bench pretty well.
Bam. Up top, Derek Hood. Reed got it to him around the rim.
This trip here will answer your question. Let's see what they do defensively. If they're really aggressively going after it. Keep in mind there are a lot of substitutes on the floor too.
Off of the deflection, Oliver driving it to the basket. Couldn't spin it through, but he is going to the strike.
Where they are so good, they make things happen when you double team and they up tempo. And here's Reed with the delivery to Hood. Really going through the defensive double team out on the wings. Iowa has to be careful with that, because if they get broken down from the trap, they'll be in trouble.
More free throws for Oliver, and he gets the roll on the first attempt.
Oliver is very good at coming to the basket with the basketball, dribbling through and slicing, sliding through and slashing.
Kent McCausland getting ready to check in, and give him credit, because he may have been the guy that turned the tide for this Iowa team. They needed a spark of some sort, and it was McCausland from the perimeter.
Absolutely. He rang the alarm for them. There's no question about it. And it's a funny thing, when he got his shot down, he was all pumped up, and they responded.
Arkansas handles the pressure. Gibson pull-up pop as he knocks it down.
Love to see guys come down the floor, dribble, and stop on a dime and shoot it.
52-51 Iowa, and the step in by Reed. Reed taking it to the basket. The flip doesn't go down. Rucker trying to grab it, and he does.
Iowa dodged the bullet just then.
And a jump ball call. Rucker had possession, and they call the defensive tie-up.
The ball is down for grabs. I almost said up for grabs, and then a little reach around the side. I'm not sure if there's a hand on the basketball just then.
He's barely touching it.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the other officials had a foul called, but Zelton Steve blew his whistle first.
It'll change again now. Matchup zone.
Walker can't hit it for three. Lursman.
Decisions off the dribble.
Inside, Jakes had it knocked away. That wasn't pretty going to the rim. But Iowa will hold on to it with 27 seconds left on the timer. Settles into the game for Iowa. And Oliver comes back in after a quick breather. Lursman goes to the bench along with Rucker. Up top for Jakes.
Better job there, finding McCausland in the corner.
Iowa up by one. Settles guarded by Walker. 15 to shoot. Joey Range out on the floor for Iowa.
Somebody will have to put the ball on the floor and try to go around the Arkansas defender out front.
Oliver looking to make something happen. Shot clock down to 4. Stutter step. Bounce pass inside. Settles. He saved it, but a violation. One too many dishes for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
The thought process was good, too, by Dean Oliver, but it was a bounce pass in the lane right at someone's foot.
Kareem Reed driving ahead for two.
Settles slipped also down the floor, and that made it even easier for Reed. Look at this pressure coming after them.
Arkansas has regained the lead. Oliver up ahead. Joey Range taking it strong. Rebound Settles, swatted by Hood. Tracked down in the corner by Walker. Walker the pull-up jumper. And rebounded by Settles.
The altitude will take effect now. This is up and down. It's ragged. These guys are going to be tired in another 30 seconds.
Spread the floor now. Range given the look.
Let's see how they cut now. See if they're tired. If it's cutting to the basket, the motion without the ball. Let's see if it's sharp or slow.
McCausland. Mismatch with Hood. McCausland, three-pointer. No good.
Legs start to go when you're tired. Shots become more difficult.
Offensive rebound. Joey Range gets the deuce. Iowa with a one-point advantage.
Arkansas has this in the pace that it wants, though, Ian, right now. They're going up and down. That's how they want to play this. Nolan Richardson said the street fight.
It's Kareem Reed with a three-pointer, and it's rebounded by Oliver. Oliver flips it up, settles the tap, no. Jakes was looking for the basketball, but Walker saves it for Reed. 2-on-1 developing with Cleveland. Cleveland the drive. Didn't get it to drop. McCausland the rebound.
Put a hand in there. It was a terrific reaction defensively.
Joey Range lines it up. Hits it for three.
Joey Range is the only guy with legs out there right now. He's getting some strength jumping.
12 points for the freshman.
He's breathing hard, though, too.
And a 20-second timeout has been taken.
That really benefits Iowa, that timeout.
11-12 to play. We are in the second half, and Iowa with a 57-53 lead.
That was lightning quick there for about 8 trips back and forth.
First couple of minutes of the second half, Jimmy, it looked like Arkansas was just going to take this game by the throat and cruise in for a win until Kent McCausland hit 3 3-pointers. Iowa now in front by 4. Coming up, more NCAA tournament action. Weber State running that Cinderella label right now. They take on Florida. And Detroit against Ohio State. That's coming up.
Catch our breath right now. That was the message in those timeouts. Catch your breath and start it up again.
Half-court set for Arkansas. Cleveland, 3-pointer. Book it.
Good set there. Arkansas in the timeout gets something. The last time they had a timeout, they did not execute well.
TJ Cleveland, 45% from long range this season. He has 6 points.
Nice little move by Rucker in the middle of the floor, not dribbling the basketball as a big guy.
Bauer defended by Bradley, makes his move. This is Rucker with the jump shot. In and out.
Nope, you can't do that.
Cleveland caught it, and he's called for traveling.
You catch it, fall to the floor, they'll hit you with that one.
Have to get rid of the basketball before you slide on the hardwood. It's a 1-point game. J.R. Koch, rainbow shot, no good. Jodine Davenport with the rebound on the inside.
Last 2 shots that have missed by Iowa have been soft and right on the money.
Another open look. Cleveland, same spot, different result. And it's rebounded by Luersman.
Taking a little longer to get down the floor for these guys right now in the breaks.
Quick passes for Iowa. Koch tried to take the baseline.
He's got Bradley down deep, too.
Luersman the jump shot. Short. Rebounded by Cleveland. Here comes Arkansas. Razorbacks on the move with Reed. Scoop shot. Couldn't spin it in. Bauer trying to rebound the ball. And he was forced out of bounds by Reed.
Bauer hustled down the floor that trip and got himself in very good defensive position. Watch what Reed has to do. He takes an easy shot and now turns it into a hard one because Bauer got down the floor and then Reed tips the basketball out of his hands. Good call from the official. Nice play by Bauer.
McCausland gets it in for Luersman. Iowa committed 16 turnovers in the first half. Only 3 so far in the second half of action, and we are past the midway point.
That's the key against pressure defense. If you have to put the ball on the floor, you must make good decisions when they react.
Into the post. Rucker had it deflected by Davenport. Out of bounds. 16 seconds remain on the timer. Substitution for Iowa. Dean Oliver in. Luersman goes to the bench.
So important now with the coaching to get guys in and out of the game so you know you have fresh guards handling the basketball. You do not want them to be worn out and try to handle the basketball in situations like this.
57-56 Hawkeyes. Spread the floor. Oliver picked up by Cleveland. 5 to shoot. McCausland. Koch, once again, too many passes. No violation because they turned it over. Arkansas pushing it up. This is Gibson. Cleveland on a pump fake.
Iowa back in that matchup, but they're lost in the corner.
Gibson a 3. He moved without the basketball. Iowa could not find him, and Sergario Gibson makes them pay.
They set a little token screen in the baseline cut, and that's why he was wide open.
Arkansas up by 2.
Now you have to get your legs under you. Play hard, catch your breath, and go sharply with the basketball at both ends of the floor.
Bauer on the drive, and a foul called
Blocking foul. It's Cleveland.
You get down the other end of the floor, you see the Gibson running the floor in the middle, finds a spot, good little screen down low, and Iowa slow to react defensively.
Fourth personal foul called on T.J. Cleveland.
They'll bring it down.
He did. Walker with the steal. Ahead of the field as he rocks the rim.
Quick guys, when you're a big guy, you do not want to bring the basketball down on a catch, down to the chest level or below.
19 points for Chris Walker. Iowa trying to deal with this Arkansas pressure. Oliver on a stop and go. They turned it over.
Here's the strip. Walker so quick and off to the races he goes. Nice little handle. That's what they want to get. They want to get the quick turnover and push down the floor. These guys are breathing hard right now.
21 turnovers for Iowa. They trail Arkansas 61-57.
Good pass over the top.
Reed, his battery just keeps on ticking. Bradley, long jump shot. Davenport tapped it to the outside, controlled by Bauer. Arkansas is ready defensively. Bauer trying to find an opening. Inside, Jakes. Little pump fake for Jacob Jakes.
A good stop, too, just then for Jakes. If he rolls to the basket, he runs over Bradley. He stopped, pulled up jumper, perfectly done.
Timeout, 7:58 left. Arkansas holding on to a 2-point lead. Our game summary in a 2-point game, Arkansas in front. Field goal percentage right around the same number. Turnovers, that has hurt Iowa. Fast break points, very close. Not what we expected heading into this matchup.
And Iowa has taken advantage of some of those opportunities.
Cleveland gets it across. Finds Hood for the uncontested dunk.
That's where Iowa has to be careful, though, with their up-front trap. If they get beaten, they're really getting beaten down deep. Right at the other end of the floor, though, Arkansas comes back with their version of it.
Oliver getting around Hood and a touch foul call. Stops the clock with 7:39 left.
How are you going to defend this? Cleveland pushing, Hood finishing. It is quick.
First foul called on Derek Hood. And a 4-point Arkansas cushion. Oliver defended by Reed. Settles, fires it inside. Jakes.
Wasn't there, though.
He was trying to bounce it to Joey Range. Out of bounds.
That was a very good thought, too. I don't think Range saw the ball coming around two players.
Cleveland hurries it across. Walker lines it up for three. He connects.
They're starting to stroke it when they need it. I think I'd pull that full court pressure off if I were Iowa right now.
22 points for Chris Walker. 6 trifectas. McCausland, count it, a three-pointer. Reed wasting little time. 66-62 Razorbacks.
Every time the half-court game comes into effect for Arkansas, Iowa can get their breath a little bit on a collective basis.
I think everybody's just trying to get their breath on a collective basis right now. Down to 5. Cleveland.
He didn't recognize the clock either. I don't think he knew there was only 5 left.
Razorbacks turn it over with 6:31 showing on the clock. Again, wholesale substitutions. 3 players come in for Dr. Tom Davis. It's Luersman, McCausland, Koch, Settles, and Bauer for Iowa. Outside, McCausland spots up. Hits another 3.
You talk about finding the guy who has a hot hand. That was a very delayed break and a terrific lookout for the wide-open long-range shot.
17 points for Kent McCausland. 5 3-pointers.
Good look for Walker just then, the same type of set.
Settles the rebound off the miss. Inside, Koch got some contact from Walker and a foul.
McCausland McCausland giving up the basketball that trip on the break. The applause from Tom Davis. Very happy with the way they're battling back and sticking around. I love the pace of this game. It's a terrific battle.
Both of these teams working very hard, but you have to respect Iowa's heart, because there have been a couple of occasions where you thought maybe Arkansas could run away with it, but Kent McCausland and his long-distance prowess has kept the Hawkeyes alive. Not only alive, but very much in this game. Koch missing on the free throw.
Walked away from the line. That's a problem. Stay on the line, especially when you're tired. Get the shoulders going towards the basket, not away.
Bradley in for Walker. And now Brandon Dean will come in for T.J. Cleveland. So Arkansas up by 1. First half, McCausland limited to just 2 points. Koch, second free throw.
Stayed on the line that trip. Did not fall away.
We are tied at 66.
Hood came very close to having that basketball graze off his leg as it went out of bounds. Let's see if Arkansas can get by the first 2 guys up front for Iowa. If they do, they have better numbers. They're by it now. Let's see what happens.
Dean on the attack. Iowa trying to recover defensively. They do.
Back to the matchup zone.
Gibson gives it up. Reed, three-pointer. Too strong. McCausland the rebound. And he gets it off for Lorsman.
That's good coaching. I think that makes a whole lot of sense to fall back into the matchup, force the game on the outside to the perimeter with Arkansas now. See if their legs are underneath them.
Lorsman knocks it down. Ryan Lorsman from long range.
The guards are playing on the string. The string meaning when one comes towards you, you flare away from them to give yourself some space while they're executing well.
Well, Nolan Richardson said he wanted a street fight. He's getting one. Out of bounds. Did he get the timeout? Yes. Derek Hood falling out of bounds, got the timeout, and it stops the clock. Just over 5 minutes to play. Iowa leads by 3. Back in Denver, let's go to the data bank. Arkansas has made at least 1 3-pointer in each of their last 365 games. Have to go all the way back to January of '89 against Texas, the last time they did not connect for 3. Iowa with a 69-66 lead, just over 5 minutes to play. 3-point shooting so far. Iowa 8 of 18. They have really turned it around in the second half. Arkansas with 10 3-pointers. Right now, let's check in with Mike Mayock.
I had a chance to listen to Tom Davis there during that timeout, and he was very emotional, said every rebound, every loose ball has to be ours. We're 5 minutes from Phoenix. The juxtaposition was Nolan Richardson, very calm, talking about double teaming defensively, and he said, fellas, bottom line, if we're aggressive, we go to Phoenix. Back to you, Ian.
McCausland, a little bit out of control. He lost the ball.
Decisions right now so important.
Bradley for the tie. No good. Bauer tried to get it over the back of Hood. Arkansas controls it. Walker, this could tie it up. Short.
Look down the floor. Oh, what a play!
Oliver gets it to Jess Settles for the slammer.
Settles snuck out. What a play by Oliver. Wrap around behind the back pass.
Iowa extends its lead. 71-66. Counting down to the 4-minute mark here in Denver. The winner with a trip to the Sweet 16 against UConn, the top seed in the West.
Down 5, 4 minutes or so left. You have to start going deeper to the basket, I think, not long range.
Hood, the discard. Settles was in there as well, and the foul was called.
If there's a prettier pass to be made in the NCAA tournament this year, I can't wait to see it, because this is a beauty right here. The wraparound behind the back pass. What court awareness by Oliver to trigger that one to catch Settles ahead of the floor.
Jess Settles called on the personal foul, number 3.
Let's see if Arkansas can get something going towards the basket.
Cleveland Skip pass.
Match-up defense right now.
Reed on a shake and bake. Penetration. Ball knocked to the outside and Bauer. Arkansas not hitting its shots.
Better decision, though, there from Reed in Arkansas.
Arkansas out of timeouts. Iowa with a full and a 20. 71-66. Hawkeyes. Settles, puts it on the floor. And Reed is called for the foul.
Puts a 77% shooter at the line. It's a 6-year bet.
Iowa on a 12-0 run over the last 3:35. They can add to it with Jess Settles. He's been dreaming about this moment. Had to sit out a couple of years because of back problems. Nobody thought the NCAA would grant him a rare 6th year of eligibility. He's here, and he misses on the free throw. 5-point game.
Iowa can continue to be aggressive defensively also. They only have 2 team fouls.
Bradley a 3. Oh, did they need that one?
Oh, did they ever? Because he had been asleep with his shooting, just not really having a stroke today. Puts him back in the hunt.
8 points for Pat Bradley. Lorsman gets it to the outside. Looks like Iowa looking to slow it down.
I wouldn't go too slow, though. I'd still get into my sets because you don't want to get lulled into sleep and be forced to take a bad one if the shot clock works against you. Keep looking for opportunities. They're playing well.
Lorsman matched up with Cleveland. Shot clock at 13. Lorsman short on the jump shot.
Not a good shot. Little rattled. You don't want to get rattled.
Settles steals it away, and he's fouled by Bradley.
The beauty of Jess Settles right now, Ian, is that he has not played a good game in terms of shooting the basketball, but it has not affected what he's doing in terms of his floor work. Here you see him come in with the double team. Jake's right there to make a stop on Bradley. He has no choice but to foul him.
Jess Settles. The 19th foul called on Arkansas. Settles shooting a pair. Connects on the first. His mom and dad, the Settles family, making the trip from Winfield, Iowa. And Settles will get a second toss. He can give Iowa a 4-point lead. He does. Substitution. J.R. Koch in. Settles to the bench.
The way this game has been played with 2:42 left, there'll be plenty of opportunities still, so it's an eternity in this basketball game.
Cleveland, long pass for Hood. Gets it into the hands of Reed.
Extra pass on the left wing.
And a foul call. Koch was trying to clog up the middle with Derek Hood.
Hood was rotating with the basketball. As the ball was swung to the left side, Hood rotated and Koch grabbed it.
In the final 2:33, we will see if the Arkansas seniors can step forward during crunch time. Reed gets it in for fellow senior Hood.
Last play, too, Ian, was an example of not hurting yourself with team foul.
Reed a 3. Book it.
Did you say something about veterans stepping up?
Kareem Reed now with 18 points. 1-point game. Oliver dribbles out of trouble.
As good as he is with the basketball, he has to be careful also, dribbling the ball around Reed.
McCausland.
Pick it up, you're in trouble also.
Knocked out by Reed. It was close.
They fast. You pick the basketball up near a double team situation and they just jump all over it.
2:01 left. And a timeout has been called. We've got a 1-point game in Denver. More to come. .201 left. Second half. Iowa with a 1-point lead. Our CBS Sportsline stat of the game. This one may come down to a 3-point basket down the stretch. Dr. Tom Davis taking that timeout. Wise decision?
I think it was to regroup. You have the basketball. You have the 1-point lead. Regroup because decisions are going to be so important here.
And they have 1:20-second timeout remaining.
Arkansas with 9 fouls, so you want to try to get something going to the basket if you're Iowa. Get that double bonus working in your favor.
Shot clock at 9. Oliver
Wild shot. It's tipped in. J.R. Koch. Down to 1:42 to play. 75-72. Hawkeyes. Cleveland the three. Can't hit it. Koch the rebound on the weak side. And a foul call with 1:34 to play. And Iowa nursing a three-point advantage.
Oliver did not realize that he had a layup right there on the other side of the basket. He tries to be a fancy move, flip it back up. Koch right in the correct spot at the right time. Going to stretch this to a two-possession game right now.
And 2 shots for J.R. Koch. The 4th personal foul on Pat Bradley. Koch at the line. A couple of key free throws. Connects on the first. Foul trouble. Jakes, Koch, and Settles 3 apiece. Dean, Jeffries, and Cleveland, along with Bradley, all have 4.
Now after this shot, they'll come down the floor in a hurry.
Koch, 2 out of 2.
Still have plenty of time. If I'm Arkansas, I try to get this thing going to the basket as quickly as I can. It looks like they may settle for a 3.
Cleveland. Out for Walker. Cleveland.
Arkansas does not have a timeout, remember, so they have no chance to regroup at the bench. They have to do it on the floor.
Walker swings it in for Hood. Offensive foul is called.
The last minute has belonged to Koch at the offensive end with the tip. Watch him step across now. Get good position. Feet down. He's vertical. He's okay. Hood puts the shoulder down a little bit. Tough call to go against Hood, though. They needed a bucket.
Nolan Richardson disagreeing with the call. This is a 5-point game.
Have to go for the steals. At some point, you're going to try to foul, too.
Coming up on 1 minute left. McCausland gets it over to Bauer. Bauer splitting defenders. Oliver holds. Spreading the floor. Iowa using up clock. Oliver defended by Bradley. Hood comes out. This is Settles. Down to 50 seconds left. And finally the foul as Reed forces Settles to the ground.
13 seconds were on the shot clock. If you're going to decide to foul, you must foul much earlier than that. It's a 5-point basketball game. 20 seconds plus. We're just eating up off the clock, and you eliminate some of your chances.
And Jess Settles is going to the free throw line. Gonzaga has defeated Stanford. The number 10 seed in the West goes to the Sweet 16. Settles hitting on the first. 78-72. 50.4 seconds left. Iowa with a 6-point lead on Arkansas, the 5 seed in front. Jess Settles tacking on another point with the free throw. They lead it 79-72.
It's 3 possessions also. They come in a hurry, but they have to go and shoot at long range quickly.
Bradley at 3. No good. Rebounded by Hood on a kick out for Reed. And a steal by Oliver. Oliver on a race to the rim. The layup. He gets the roll. And the foul.
Boy, if the Hawkeyes answered the charge at the end of this basketball game.
That may have sealed the deal for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Reed gets a little careless. Oliver down. We saw him do this in round 1, finishing it off. He had 2 of those plays in round 1.
The Iowa Hawkeyes under Coach Tom Davis have taken over this game over the last couple of minutes of play. Oliver with the free throw and a 3-point play, giving Iowa a 10-point lead.
The lack of timeouts for Arkansas just really hurt them because they could have used one to regroup.
And a foul is called on McCausland.
Good foul. They're just looking to take time off the clock right now. They have 4 team fouls, so they can continue to do this if they so desire for maybe another time if they want. 31.9 seconds. I don't think they will unless they get in trouble.
The jumper from Reed is short. Rebounded by Koch. Final seconds. And the Iowa Hawkeyes will advance on to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1988. Time ticking away.
This is going to be a very emotional finish for Iowa.
Dr. Tom Davis will coach another game for Iowa. And it is over here in Denver. seed in the West. Fifth-seeded Iowa knocks off number 4 seed Arkansas. These players have rallied around head coach Tom Davis, who will be moving on at the end of Iowa's run in this tournament, stepping down as head coach, resigning. But he is leaving with a bang. The reaction of Tom Davis, huddling up with his assistant coaches. His wife looking on. And Iowa has defeated Arkansas 82-72, the final. Earlier today, UConn moved on with an easy win over New Mexico. And then Iowa, the 5 seed, tops Arkansas for a Sweet 16 appointment with the Connecticut Huskies. Arkansas led this game 47-34 when Iowa went on a 16-0 run to bring them right back into the contest. And the celebration continues for the Hawkeyes. Our Chevrolet MVPs, players of the game, Kent McCausland, 17 points, and pivotal 3-pointers when Iowa desperately needed them. Chris Walker is the Chevrolet player of the game for Arkansas in a losing effort. For Jim Spanarkel and Mike Mayock, that'll do it from Denver. 82-72, the final. Iowa wins it for Coach Tom Davis. Greg Gumbel coming up from the studio when we return.
Got another good finish for you. How about the one in McNichols Sports Arena in Denver between Iowa and Arkansas? The Hawkeyes trailed much of this game, came back to beat the Razorbacks 82-72. There's the Razorback mascot. He doesn't know what's in store. Arkansas led at halftime, holding on here. Chris Walker with the steal and the dunk. Razorbacks up 61-57. Here comes Iowa.
Kent McCausland, one of the nation's best at knocking down the threes, gets one there. They're within one.
And then the Hawkeyes turn up the pressure. Dean Oliver with the steal. Great behind the back pass. He just settles, slams it home. Final moments here.
31.9 seconds. I don't think they will unless they get in trouble.
The jumper from Reed is short. Rebounded by Koch. Final seconds. And the Iowa Hawkeyes will advance on to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1988. Time ticking away.
This is going to be a very emotional finish for Iowa.
Dr. Tom Davis will coach another game for Iowa. And it is over here in Denver. Iowa is going to Phoenix. Hawkeyes win it 82-72. And
you know, one of the great stories surrounding the Iowa Hawkeyes is that man, Dr. Tom Davis. They won't let him go home. He's going to retire sometime whenever the Hawkeyes are eliminated, if they're eliminated, but he is a fine man and a terrific coach.
A humble coach, a classy coach, an outstanding coach, and when you consider talking about potential Cinderellas, no greater one than Iowa right now.